was lamenting, why getting a win against Egypt?
I don't, Oliver. I don't get it. All right, cool. Can you hear us? So tell us, describe to us what the mood is this morning. Have you encountered the players this morning? Have they had breakfast yet? What's going on? What's the general mood? And what's going to be happening from here?
Well, I think from the players and the technical team, the general mood has been that of more or less trying to get the positives from a very difficult game. Look, guys are humans, and if you do surrender a lead twice in the manner which we did, then it would hurt. And, I was told that the dressing room was once again down, but it required, Chris Hughton and the assistant coaches to talk to the team that, look, this was Egypt that they just played. And the fact that they're feeling hard done by drawing with Egypt shows them how far they've come as a team from that Cape Verde game. And so I think mentality-wise, the team is getting there. But it needs to reflect on the pitch because in tournament football, the margin for error is very tiny. And so far, we're not making the most out of it. Unfortunately, we didn't get the 3 points against Egypt. But Ghana are still in this. If they go on to beat Mozambique, they stand every chance of qualifying from the group, if not even as the best top two, as one of the best third-place teams. And so I think that will be the focus now for the team.
Okay. What are fans saying? What were their reactions yesterday? Did you get to speak to anybody after the match?
Yeah. Fans would always be frustrated. The fans are annoyed. The fans, there are some who are blaming the players. There are some who are blaming the coach. Who are just generally frustrated because Ghana took the lead twice, no matter how you look at it, and they managed to give it away in a manner which shouldn't have happened. And the way it is that if you're looking at all the 4 goals that Ghana has conceded at this tournament, to some extent, all of them have been individual errors or a lack of concentration. And so it makes it harder for the fans because, look, no one would have a problem with the team if Mohamed Salah scored from 30 yards. No one would have a problem for the team if Egypt scored from a 30-pass move. But just the mere fact that you are working hard for your goals and then you are given your the ones that you're conceding away cheaply, that's what makes it very difficult from the fans. But, a lot of the fans were not happy. I think most of them were frustrated with Chris Hughton, thought that second half could have been better with regards to how he was managing the substitutions.
Anyway, so we've got some reactions from the fans. Let's get that and then we'll come back to you, Reiko.
I'm not very disappointed, but it's cool. I hope our next match we can score. The first half it was tough, but the second match the matches changes, so it's all part of the game, So we hope next match they will score
because the book can go for this distance, sacrifice everything to be here. This game was ours. The honest, this game was ours. Right? Because Black Stars, when it stakes high, that's what they put themselves the most. Now, what's your first goal? Second goal, defender, when you're ball, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want to say? I do calculation. Why don't you calculate? If this one lose, and this one win, and this one lose, and why? We should have just won this game, and then we can relax for the second game.
We're going to fine. But one or two things we are coaching going to be amber home or dinner. So, to the buy. Because they have 4 and 5 one of the boy in the year. 2 and 3 in the count. The 29 leaky, it's only a ball on that 4 number was saying. 2 goals and considering defenders. Omuji Chabon, my just from here. 2 goals in the match by 2-2. It's one there. The coach is awesome. Typical coach was and then take a cat in answer. Say, per se, a queen more, I say, it's a combination.
Oh, like the game went on well, but I think Inaki Williams, at least you should help us because you can't just be playing and just like you should help us at least. It was like, I'm even speechless, seriously. I'm even speechless. We played well, but I think some little petty mistakes we did caused us this draw we played. So I think maybe next game we have some hope. We can win next game, yeah.
Looks like we are getting a lot of hope for the next game.
Well,
We've got questions for Rico.
Yeah, we just hope that the hope translates. But Rico, yesterday you were in the mix zone. These are the thoughts of the fans. You encountered the players. You saw their demeanor walking out of the stadium into the bus. What do you make of their thoughts and then how they walked out of the stadium? Do you trust that against Mozambique on Monday, they still can make it out of the group?
Yeah, quite a number of the players are already looking ahead to the next game. There's also been that deliberate attempt to not blame the players specifically. That was almost like the running question in the mix zone. Bukari and Inaki, how they feel about that. But most of them try to shift the focus on the team. That the team needs to do better. And at the end of the day, they're playing together as a team. They win as a team. They lose as a team. But they still have one more game to correct their mistakes, and that's against Mozambique. Now, remember that Ghana are in a very tricky situation. We've been here before in the last Africa Cup of Nations, where once again we conceded a late goal against Gabon, and we drew that match, and we headed into the final match against Comoros, needing to win. And now we're also heading into a game against Mozambique, needing to win our final group game against a team that we're supposed to beat. And so it's a really tricky situation because we know what happened against Comoros the last time. And you do not want to get to this point, especially at the AFCON, where we do have a number of upsets. And so it's rather unfortunate that for a second tournament, Ghana had to ensure that they get into the last game of the group stages needing to win, especially because you've played 2 games already. But maybe it's just an indication of the true level of the national team at this moment. If we cannot wrap up qualification, look, those times we used to, at least by second game, Ghana would have won 1 or won 2 or won 1 and drawn 1, or at least be in the top 2 of the group. We're bottom. We're bottom after 2 games, and 2 of the teams have not even played 2 games yet. And so it's really disheartening to see Ghana struggle at this level. But all we can do really is just hope and hope. And now the funny thing is that Ghanaians actually on a Friday have to watch Cape Verde play against Mozambique, because depending on how that game goes, it would tell us how difficult or how less difficult the task on Monday would be.
All right, now looking at the difficulty of the task on Monday, we look at our players. Ashimeru was substituted very early into the second half. Any injury concerns, and what's the update on Iñaki, who seemed to be dejected in the dugout, and Osman Bukari, who was substituted just right after his mistake?
So for Majid Ashimeru, he was limping in the mix zone. Chris Hughton said that it was a sub that he was forced to make, and so he will be assessed this morning. For Iñaki Williams, his eyes were quite red. I can assume he had been crying in the dressing room. And then, who was the last one again?
Osman Bukari.
Osman had his head down throughout the walk in the mix zone, and I mean, he took a quick glance at the media, looked really sad, and then he just shook his head and just kept walking. He looked really disappointed in himself, especially, and so I don't know what the plan is to help him get his confidence back, because even without a mistake, I think the biggest embarrassment for any professional player is to be subbed on and to be subbed off again.
All right, now finally, we have a game to watch this afternoon, just like you said, Mozambique against Cape Verde. You've watched these 2 sides too, and judging from what you've seen, which side do you think will stand top, and what would the dynamics look like if Cape Verde should win or if Mozambique should win this game?
Well, it's a bit tricky because in the Africa Cup of Nations group stage is head-to-head. And so currently, Ghana doesn't have a better head-to-head than any of the two teams that they faced. And so the only team Ghana can have a better head-to-head than is Mozambique. So that makes it right that you don't hope Mozambique, win today's game or do better in today's game. Because if they are to get a 3 points and they go on 4 points, then you know that you are drawing against Mozambique, and that wouldn't work for you because they go on 5 points. But in the situation where, let's say, Mozambique do pick up a 0-0 draw today, they would also go on 2 points. And then Cape Verde go on 5 points. We know Egypt are already on 2 points and Ghana are on 1 point. Then maybe the Black Stars can hope to win their final game. Because the thing is that you want to finish second. You don't want to, because we're in Group B, if we finish our group games and Ghana are in the 3rd place, we would have to wait to see how other games go to know whether we are part of the top 4 best 3rd place teams. And so essentially, you want to finish in the top 2. And so as much as possible, Ghana's maximum that we can attain is 4 points.
Yeah.
You don't want Mozambique to get that right now. Cape Verde are already there. And so the best because if Cape Verde has 3 points and win and they go to 4 points, then it means that Ghana are already in a very difficult situation. And so it's a bit tricky, but I think a draw should be decent so that at least we know that Cape Verde is out of reach. And if we do beat Mozambique, then we know that we're finishing above Mozambique, and we'll see what happens in the final game.
All right, Horeko, thank you so much. We'll be getting back to you later at 11 on Salute Africa. Our calculators are ready for the big game at 2 p.m.
I didn't want to get into that. I just wanted us to win so we avoid the calculations. But anyway, assistant coach George Boateng thinks that their team can do better with our 3rd game against Mozambique. Let's take a listen.
And you look at the performance today, I'm sure you would agree with us that it was a much better performance from everyone. And we deserve more than what we got. They are very disappointed. And we told them the fact that you are disappointed tells us that you really want to get out of the group and get to the next stage. And we have informed them that if they can perform like this in the last game, I'm sure that the results will look after us in a positive way. The mood is down, and it's a good sign because, if you are winning twice and you end up drawing the game, you'll be disappointed. If you're not disappointed, it means that you are satisfied with what you have. But they're not satisfied. They are really disappointed, and we'll pick them up. We've got 4 days to go, and we'll deliver another good performance against Mozambique. At the moment, I think if you saw the way the players played, you have to draw confidence out of that. Of course, every game in AFCON is tough. Every game. You can't underestimate any opposition, and they know that now because playing against Cape Verde and now playing against a very top and very well organized Egypt, you can tell that it's not easy. You win as a team and you lose as a team. And we've said that to them. Nobody is to blame. And they are all disappointed, everyone. And it's not like the case where you're going to blame anyone. Football is a sport of mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, so we are not blaming anyone. We drew as a team, and we were going to win as a team. No, there's no problem with concentration. But at this level, if you make a mistake or you are not, you switch off just a second, you get punished because the level is high, and this is how it is everywhere you are playing at this level.
All right, George Boateng, our assistant coach. Now, the main man who's feeling the brunt of the pressure from all 33 million of us said before this game, after the game, that he told them after the Cape Verde match that he wanted better performance. He wanted them to run faster. I don't know if he got that, but let's take a listen to Chris Hughton.
I felt we deserved to win the game. What I asked after our first performance against Cape Verde, I asked the players for a better performance, more commitment, more running, to give ourselves a better chance of putting in a performance to win this game. So I don't think I can fault the players. I don't think I can fault their aptitude and the way that they apply themselves to the game. And at the moment, the dressing room is a very disappointed dressing room because I think this was a really good opportunity for us to get 3 points. So, first and foremost, what I can tell you is that we like Osman Bukhari a lot, and we have a lot of faith in him. I have to make decisions on the bench for what I see, and my feeling is that there are a lot of emotions in the game, and for those who know Osman, he's a very committed, not only a very committed player, but an honest player. And I thought at that moment, I thought once he'd made a mistake, I thought it affected him in the game. So this is not normal. You know, this normally doesn't happen. So to make this type of decision, it's because of what myself and the coaches see. And this sometimes is the emotions of the game. You know, this doesn't take anything away of what we feel about him and the type of player he is, the type of individual he is. But these are the tough decisions sometimes you have to make as a coach.
Okay, so that's Chris Hughton prepping his mind and everything else that concerns 33 million of us for the next for the next game against Mozambique. Listen, many people are saying that we should not be too quick to let him go after this tournament. Probably keep him and clean up the house. Yes or no? Just simple answer.
He should go.
He should go. That's what you think.
I don't think he's in an environment that can help him thrive. No.
Our environment.
Yeah, the environment he is in is a bit toxic. Especially, I mean, the association he's working with now, because we have several people who don't like him. They don't want him to stay, you know. I'm sure you heard of the, the violence at the hotel when those people who were involved are well-known people around the top hierarchy of the Football Association. Like, so it clearly gives you an indication that one well-known aide of the GFA president, Keto Kreku, was visibly saying that he's going to beat the coach, and it clearly gives you an indication where this is coming from. So all I think he needs to do is to prove his word that yes, I can qualify out of this group,
but
maybe
it's just
make
the
it
environment.
Exactly, make it into maybe the semi-final or even the final, and possibly winning the trophy. If you do that, you walk away. If it doesn't happen, you do your best, and then you just walk away.
Anyway.
Yeah, you live where you are not loved.
Okay. So let's take a listen to one defender who phenomenally impressed all of us, especially with our first game, Ghana-Cape Verde, Alexander Djiku.
It was a mistake, but this is football. I think we have another game. In third game, we're still alive. So we need to do more again for win the last game. I think it will be a difficult game because it's last game. We will see the game tomorrow, and I think we can win if we put a lot of things. If we play with our heart, and let's go for the next game. Yes. Today I'm proud of my team. I repeat, because everybody are good run. Everybody play with aggressivity, good aggressivity from the start until the end. So today I'm proud of my team.
Right. So we are looking forward to the entire team playing with their hearts, just like Alexander Djiku has indicated. Anyway, we'll leave it here for today. Yeah. Today's match, Cape Verde with
Mozambique.
Mozambique is today. Yeah. You would want to keep an eye on that one so that you can keep up with your calculation for our next game on Monday. What time is that game today?
Oh, that game is at 2 p.m.
2 p.m. this afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
not
the
too
other
bad.
games on as well. Okay. There's a big game, Senegal and Cameroon, a battle of the Lions. Yes,
that's huge.
Indomitable Lions against the Lions of Teranga.
What time is that?
5 p.m.
Okay.
And then the final game, Guinea-Gambia at 8 p.m.
Okay, so Cape Verde, Mozambique, yes.
2 p.m.
Yeah.
And then we have Cameroon, Senegal at 5 p.m. And then Gambia will play against Guinea at 8 p.m.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.